Hello and welcome to Moment of Truth on Labour Social. I'm Graham Hughes. To hate him is to know him, and to know him is to hate him, seems to be the takeaway from polling published today on Rishi Sunak. 1 year on since he became leader of the Tory party after losing the leadership election to a woman who subsequently lost it to a lettuce. Every single aspect of his personal reputation and people's confidence in his judgment on important policy issues have taken an absolute tumble in the last 12 months, as the great British public have got to know the tiny man who likes to wear his trousers at half-mast, possibly in tribute to the late Queen. More people now think he's racist. More people now think he's lazy. More people now think he's unkind. Confidence in his competence has gone from plus 28 to minus 12. His decisiveness from plus 36 to minus 19. It's like the more we've got to know him, the more we find to dislike. In fact, his likability rating has crashed from plus 8 to minus 16. His honesty rating has dropped from minus 1 to minus 21, and his perceived strength as a leader has dropped 50 points from plus 15 to a massive minus 35. His trustworthiness, which started low at a minus 9, is now minus 37, and his charisma rating, which was already in negative figures when he first walked into number 10, has gone from minus 10 to minus 38. And the question of whether he is in touch with ordinary people has gone from an already hilariously low minus 54 a year ago to an incredible minus 72, meaning that he's seen by the public as more than 3 times as out of touch with ordinary people as King Charles. You know, the guy who is literally the king. It's almost like your average business punter feels like a privately educated former investment banker and hedge fund manager who is sitting on a fortune of over £700 million, a man who laughed about having no working class friends, a man who routinely flies around in a publicly subsidised private jet, a man who is so chauffeured he didn't know how to pay for petrol, a man who voted against giving hungry British children food while simultaneously pushing for tax cuts for the rich and the cap to be lifted on bankers' bonuses, could be, maybe, a little out of touch with the reality of everyday life for the rest of us. Who knew? But when it comes to confidence in Rishi Sunak's judgment on important policy issues, the fall has been even more remarkable. On his handling of law and order, education, Brexit, climate change, the cost of living, the NHS, housing, immigration, his figures have plummeted from somewhere in the minus 20s to the minus 40s and 50s. But where I think that Sunak and the entire Tory party are going to be hit hardest in the upcoming general election is that in October 2022, the net figure on Sunak's ability to manage the economy was a perceived plus 14. Now, in October 2023, it's minus 31. In fact, he doesn't have a single positive score with the British electorate on any important policy issue. And even better, only 1% of those surveyed think he's been a great leader. 1 lousy percent. Funnily enough, that's the same percentage of 18 to 24-year-olds who say they're going to vote Conservatives in the next general election. Coming hot on the heels of the absolutely atrocious results for the Tory party in last week's by-elections, to say the writing is on the wall is an understatement. This is a dead party walking. And now they are faced with a choice. They can either stick with their terribly unpopular leader and lose the next election, or change leader again for the 5th time in 7 years and lose the next election. Well, I guess those deck chairs on the Titanic ain't going to rearrange themselves. What's your hot take on what the Tories are going to do about the fact that they're less popular than syphilis right now? Do you think they even care? Let me know in the comments below.